I look progressive, maybe more like a hobo. Hello, hi. YouTube updated its stupid fucking thing. That I can create shorts now. What shorts should I create? Should I just create shorts where I drink a cup of coffee and look deeply, stare deeply into the camera? Yes, look into my eyes. My wonderful, wonderful eyes that totally isn't obstructed at all by my glasses. I can't see shit. Either way, hello, hi. I have video ideas, but then I forgot what it was the moment I wanted to film. So I'm gonna talk about my favorite thing, the gym. The gym. The gym. The gym, basically. Nothing particular. I just like the gym. Yeah, just give me a sec. It's itchy. Okay, it's itchy. You got fucking bitten by a mosquito. Either way, the gym is a wonderful place. COVID, lockdown, and all that bullshit really affected the gym journey. Um, to say the least, is gym, in my opinion, right, we're talking about the COVID situation a little bit, just a tiny bit, and then I'll move on to the actual topic that I want to talk about today, which is how stupid people are a lot of the time, or just how much of a dick people are, especially that talks about fitness. It sucks so much. It really, really does. So the COVID situation basically had a lot of gyms locked down, which was stupid. Very, very fucking stupid. Because a lot of the time, gyms are really goddamn open places. People aren't touching each other on the ass a lot of the fucking time. You just get people with headphones and people that live somewhat seriously. A lot of the time, people are like gym distances across from each other because they don't talk to each other a lot of the time. So in my opinion, should gym have closed? Not really. In my opinion, gym should have stayed open, but have like a genuine people limit. Like say places like America or some shit like that. It is. It has so many gym facilities and other shit like that. If people were just filing in line a little bit, it would have been fine. But of course, people, the masses are just like absolute assholes. And so that wouldn't have worked. But I mean, it kind of raised up this culture about home gyms, which was really, really awesome as well. Because in my opinion, there are a lot of shit that you can actually very much do at home gyms. A lot of people overestimate their abilities to do a lot of things, to say the least. There was like probably like say push-ups or something. If you go to the gym someone enough, we would think like, oh, push-up, who would do that? Why would you do that? In a sense. I mean, I was in that group for quite a long time. Kind of still is on some stuff, but I've definitely changed my mind. Like say, pull-ups. Do you do pull-ups in the gym? I would say you should. A lot of people would say like, but why would you do that? It's the gym, it's the facility. It has all these equipments. Why would you do a body weight exercise in a facility where there's more equipment for you not to do body weight exercises in a sense? And to that I say, true, true. But it's such a good exercise. And I don't have the equipment at home. So I might as well use it in the facility. But yeah, the COVID situation sucks ass. It's stupid. The fact that gyms has to close down. Gym is such an important part for a lot of people. It's just it it's a let go place for a lot of people. It is a place of fun. It's a place of pushing yourself a lot of time, which surprise surprise in society nowadays you don't really have that. Because a lot of the time you want to really push yourself, you have to push yourself intellectually. You have to work hard intellectually, and that is excruciatingly hard to work hard on because you don't know what to do in a sense. You don't know how to track progress in terms of academics. That's kind of like the big arguments for tests. They don't really test you on everything, and a lot of the time whenever you win or lose in a competition, you could just blame the conditions surrounding it and everything, which is like the hard part of intellectual shit in general. It's just how do you really measure it? But lifting and just genuine strength stuff, you have a number, you kind of have a somewhat stable condition. Just fucking do it. It's very much in front of you. Whenever you do something wrong, you can very much see it with your own eyes. You can even feel it. Not with intellectual shit. And a lot of time, intellectual shit, you're using the brain. You're using one part of your body a lot of the time. You don't use your arms. You don't use your legs or some shit like that. You kind of use your fingers, but that's about it. Use your ass to sit on a fucking chair like this one. Just lazily sit there. Unlike, lifting where you're like using everything. Your body's an ecosystem. Why train this one thing in the ecosystem? You're gonna, expand the entire ecosystem. It's a whole body, okay? Like, people can also think of it like your brain is like the machine and everything else in your body is like meat armor. This is your meat armor. And like the skeleton is like the true inner core of the meat armor. All these things are the meat armor. And this thing is a true mastermind. Like you're the brain, you're driving around this meat armor, telling it what to do. You're like a robot, like a mecha robot. So yeah, you gotta train the whole robot. You gotta do shit with the whole robot. You can't just train this thing up here, okay? This thing's connected to everything else. Quite literally, we are limited by our mortal coil. Either way, that's long enough of a rant. Moving on to my favorite and most hated fucking topic, internet people and lifting involved. First thing that pops up into mind, PD usage. PD, more commonly known as steroids to a lot of people. Great, this is a fucking topic that's really fun. The thing about PDs is that for some unknown reason, it seems that the general population knows absolutely jack about PD usage, about how it would actually affect your body. They think that like roids and shit like that is just like a magic pill. You take it, boom, you become ripped, you become strong, you are like the buffest motherfucker out there. Boom. But for some reason, people are unable to think, for some fucking reason, if it's that effective, why do you not see more buff people walking around? Why is there even obesity rate in the first place? You don't think there will be millions of people that would line up to take this magical pill, even if it is shortened many years of their life, say 3 decades, some massive number like that? You wouldn't think they would take it if they could take away obesity or some other shit, like from their body or something. You don't think there would be millions of people before their weddings that would take this shit, even if it takes many years away from their life, just to look really good on that wedding day and look really good for their newborn child and look really good on the beach? You really don't think so? If it's somehow so goddamn effective. For some reason, if people go to this extremity, but they just cannot think another goddamn step, and it pisses me off so much. There was a video of a guy that I watch sometimes on YouTube Shorts. He basically just like take up a bunch of challenges. It's pretty fun to watch somewhat. And he tried to imitate living like a rock for a day, in a sense. A lot of his eating, not really his workout, but his schedule, in a sense. So, of course, the media blows this shit out of their ass, and The Rock is just pulling numbers out of his ass because it's the media, okay? Even if The Rock would try to give an actual interview to the interviewee, the media would try to some way twist that shit to make it seem as if, oh my god. And even then, The Rock probably somewhere has in his The Rock is a smart enough man to know, yeah, no, fucking course I won't disclose my actual schedule, you stupid. That's the point. The word lives on sometimes this fictional plane, okay? So of course, no one knows the actual real story a lot of the time except him, a bunch of his co-workers, and people who actually watches over him. Either way, but of course it says somewhere that The Rock sleeps for like 3 hours, he eats 5,000 calories, he does like 2 workouts or some shit. And of course, everyone in the comments rally on the fact that The Rock sleeps 3 hours. Of course, any rational person or any person that does lifting or knows anything about the fucking media will immediately say, no, that's stupid. That is stupid. Of course he doesn't do that. The Rock is an old man. Surprise, surprise. He's like 40, very close to 50. He cares about his health. He does, you know, even though he's playing the role of Black Adam, and the man's like trying to get up to like 270 pounds of just pure muscles and shit. Perhaps, hopefully, in my opinion, hopefully his last major role of anything that tries to get a lot of muscles. Because it's just like, dude, you're getting old. Don't try to blast PDs. It's not good for the heart, more or less. It's just like, PDs, yes, effective, but only effective. People, for some reason, just don't get this. Just like the example I said, if it's so fucking effective, why isn't there millions of just like buff ass motherfuckers? Why isn't there? You know, people also think this. It's just like, oh, if you take more PDs, you just get buffer. Duh. Okay, so why is the Mr. Olympia only 300 pounds of muscles? Why aren't they 400, 500 pounds? Why don't we got a human that's the size of a building already? Huh? Why do we not have a 7, 8 feet person that's made out of pure muscle? Huh? Why don't we have like, is it a Belgian blue? Or is it like Belgian blue cow? That really buff cow? Just search up buff ass motherfucking cow. I forgot what it's something blue. Right. Why don't we have that but in human form? Bipedal and human just flexing their muscle everywhere. Why do we not have that? Huh? Huh? You don't think someone has already tried out just like taking an entire kilo of steroids? Huh? Because people dosage that shit in terms of milligram. You really don't think so? I hate people so much that they think of these extremities, but they don't think of the next immediate step. They just don't. They're just like, no, no. Either way, back on topic. This person, the top comment basically says, oh, actually 3 hours of sleep is really bad. 100% agree, you should sleep. The thing about lifting is that, tip of the day, you can only get so hard in lifting. Literally, you can only go so intense. Because overtraining is a thing. Overtraining, better, there should be the name of it, rather than overtraining, you should say under recovering. That should be the name. That should be the name. Not overtraining, but under recovering. If you go play football really well one day, but then the next day your leg hurts, do you think you're going to play football as well the next day? Huh? If you work really hard one day, but the next day you wake up with a headache, can you work really well that day? Same applies with the gym. You can only go so hard because the next day you have to do something. Even if the next day is rest, that pain could carry on to the next day. Wow, that's the thing. It's like a headache. It could carry on for 1 or 2 days. It's like a cramp. It could carry on for 1 or 2 days. So it's just like, wow, oh my god, that's the thing. You can only go so intense in the gym. Believe me, I would love to spend 2 hours in the gym, passing out every 20 minutes doing a goddamn exercise. I would love to, because I love the gym. I really, really do. It's like an obsession at some point. Because I really, really love the gym, it allows me to express myself. Right? It's like this freeing experience. But I can't, because number one, my mortal coil limits me. And number two, I know if I do too much, I would get less gains than more gains. So 100% sleep. It's a good thing. It's one of the best recovery methods because your body is practically in absolute rest and nothing is trying to twitch at all. And yeah, more or less. So, of course, 100% sleep. Like, physically, it's one of the best shit you can do for your body. That's why when you get sick, you sleep. It's the easiest state for the body, you could say. But, of course, people, like, this first comment more or less rallies against that. Oh yeah, another point for the hard training. World's Strongest Man, 4-time World's Strongest Man, Brian Shaw, preparing for competition, literally said, I'm teetering between the edge of overtraining and normal training during his prep, which basically means even leading up to competition, he's basically saying, yeah, no, I have a cap for how intense I go. And that is the point. It's understandable, of course. Like, you have to understand that for people like me and people that loves the gym, it's actually really easy to get overtrained because we love training a lot. Training is this wonderful release. It really, really is. We would love to go until our muscle tears apart. That's not a fucking joke. We love it. It's freeing. It's wonderful. Like, you don't think it's easy for Brian Shaw to overtrain himself? You really, really think so? You really think so? Like, for him, lifting is the easy part. I don't think people get this because, you know, they kind of have this idea about, oh, fitness is torture, which is you just gotta try it yourself, more or less. That's my tip. Try it yourself. No one's forcing you. No one's recommending you it. You're just doing it by yourself, for yourself. It's yourself. You are the main center here, not anyone else. Perhaps when you do that, it might be really fun. I hope it is for you. Because lifting is wonderful. Sports is wonderful in general. A lot of people really don't get that. Lifting is the easy part. Literally for like Shaman and powerlifter. Lifting is the fucking easy part. It is the easiest shit out of all of their schedule. Eating, recovery, having a somewhat normal life. That's the hard shit. That is the extreme hard shit. Eating. You literally have to eat on the hour, every hour, on the dot. And you have to get that shit down before the next meal. Recovery. Quite literally, you have to stop yourself sometimes from lifting. I would legit say probably a lot of the mental work of strongman and powerlifter goes into not training so hard to the point that they collapse on the floor. They would love to do that, of course. You really don't think they do, but they have to literally calm themselves and say, no. Lastly, having a somewhat normal life. These people are married. Brian Shaw is another good example. A wife and 3 kids. He has to spend time with his kid as well. He can't just train all day long. So it's just, people need to somewhat get this, is that a lot of the time in gym, there's just a certain insanity level that you can go to. And then you just have to stop if you ever want true process. Hard work is not blasting yourself on one day and then not on the other. Hard working should be, in my opinion, preached and defined as constant stream of hard work, day by day, year, week by week, month by month, year by year, to the day that you go 6 feet under. Not one day when you're just like absolutely blasting yourself. It is constant stream of hard work. And that means you have to, not you have to, but that basically means, since you want this somewhat constant stream, not every day you can just go absolutely all out. You get it? Because it's like a crash, you know. You fly too high, like Icarus, you crash down to the sea. You fly too low, you also get fucked. This is the hard part of being human, in a sense. You go too high, you get fucked. You go too low, you get fucked. You stay somewhere in the middle, you also get fucked. Basically, it's like reading through, like, you know, if you watch PewDiePie, he basically says, reading through, was it Plato or something, or Socrates, talking about how to be like a virtuous person. Instead of being like, oh yes, this is how you be a virtuous person, you just see how easy it is to fuck up in life. And that's the thing, you know, you go too extreme, you're fucked. You go too little, you're fucked. It's somewhere down that middle. Healthiness and balance is the hardest road because you have nowhere to base yourself on, in a sense. That's my interpretation. It's like, think of it as 2 walls, right? These are the 2 extreme. Whenever you hit one of these extreme, you always have something to base yourself on because you know what it is. It is very certain of this wall, you know, and on the other side as well. But down the middle of these things, you have nothing to base yourself on. You have nothing to hold yourself on. And because of that, that's why it's hard. Now back to the story. Jesus Christ, taking so long. I'm so stupid. Either way, I'm gonna fucking finish this. But basically, the guy said, "Oh yeah, The Rock doesn't need recovery because he's pumped himself for PDs and SARMs and shit, man. That's why he doesn't need sleep," which is the most bullshit thing I've ever heard. People, once again, people think PDs and steroids is this magical pill that's just gonna do everything for you. Like, oh my god, you want to grow wings? Just take PDs, man. You want a kid? Just take PDs, man. You want this and that? Just take PDs, man. Oh my god. It's not. Simply put, it's not. PD is not an excuse for you to train like a pussy. Simple as. PD should be an excuse for you to train harder. Because you recover better, you grow more, why not take that chance? Huh? Huh? It's so fucking stupid. I hate it so much. Ah, damn it, I got a point then. I forgot what it was. Basically, PD should be an excuse to train harder, not less. And also, no, PD people still have to do everything like normal, okay? They don't have this like special formula that just like, oh my god. Definitely there are quite a bit of stuff they can more or less get away with. I do not deny that one bit. However, that doesn't mean they still have to act relatively like a normal fucking human, okay? It's so stupid that people think, oh no, you take PDs, you must do absolutely everything different than us. They don't. They fucking don't. Like, how much do you think PD changes the human body? Like what? You take them and it's like the Umbrella Corps, you just turn into a fucking zombie and half a vampire, you just turn into this biological mutant of warfare? What? What do you think? Worse, probably some people think that because of organizations such as WADA. I don't have a lot against WADA, the World Anti-Doping Association. You know, the thing about it is that it demonizes PD usage, which is stupid. It is stupid. You know what happened last time when we tried to prohibit shit that a lot of people use? Yes, there are a lot of people who use PDs. Why do they go unnoticed? Oh wow, I wonder why. Probably because it's not a magical pill that just makes you look ripped as fuck. And the one that looks ripped AF, buff AF, are the one that's on Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, having a successful career. And the one that takes it and that goes in the shower that no one goddamn notices at all, or at the gym, but you don't notice it at all because they're not a fucking 200-pound hulking person that is just filled with muscle. Oh wow. It's very the thing about organizations such as WADA, what ends up happening is that whenever you hear doping stories, you always just hear like, oh my god, it's just such a massive scandal. Oh my god, holy crap. The last time we tried to prohibit, you know, not we, but the last time America tried to prohibit alcohol, I think back in the 1920s, yeah, it didn't go too well. Didn't go too well. Like, barely well at all. So then you're trying to prohibit this massive thing that quite a bit of people use. Why not, instead of, oh, I don't know, prohibit them, we try to teach people about them? You know, in my opinion, prohibiting, history should tell you that prohibiting anything, well, not anything, but prohibiting stuff in general, it's kind of a bad idea. Because when I tell you not to press that big red button over there across the room or something, you're gonna want to press the big red button over there across the room. That's human nature. We are curious at the shit that we shouldn't look at. Wow. We are naturally curious. Curiosity killed the cat. You know? And so prohibiting stuff in general isn't too good of an idea. And when you demonize them, it only creates tension between the people who took them and the people who don't. And it creates even more tension when a group of people who have been in both group tries to explain to both group that, yo, it's this and that, but both group won't fucking believe them. And then it creates even more tension because there's like a billion different opinion on goddamn anything. Look at the internet. You don't have to look far. Look at the internet on pineapple on pizza. People will be like, no, no pineapple on pizza, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you don't have to look far to see that the internet has a billion different ways and ideas and ideals. But either way, that's the thing. Organizations such as WADA, what ends up happening is that kids look up to these things and they don't know how much PDs are actually used in sport. Whenever they, see anyone who use PDs, there's this massive scandal inside their brain, and they just think, oh, if I just take PDs, I can be as buff as you, I can be way buffer than you. Shit like that. And you are, in a sense, eliminating knowledge. No joke. You are eliminating knowledge. I am very much my opinion, all countries should lower their drinking age way down. All countries should also put a lot of shit that has like an age barrier on it way down. Why not try to educate children on these things? Rather than saying, oh yeah, weed is illegal and all these things, cigarettes are, prohibited, beers, alcohols are prohibited. Instead of that, genuinely teach them on it. Just being like, sure, in Germany you can buy beer at the age of 14 very much. You drink it. That's not a fucking joke. And like I think it's like if you have parent provision or some supervision or something, you can also drink harder alcohol. Sure, you can do that. In my opinion, all countries should have that. The ones that can actually do rules enough that isn't, in a sense, have a very strict rule of their own due to many historical reasons and other shit like that, due to their politics. If countries, in my opinion, should lower the age of a lot of shit way down, but teach people about this. Teach them. That's what schools are for, isn't it? Instead of having this awkward ass sex ed class or some shit like that, genuinely just being like, yo, hear this, you can fuck people, but let's tell you all the wonderful things that could happen if you're not fucking careful. In my opinion, it will be a lot more amazing to children to say it's just like, to a lot of people to say it's just like, you can very much take PDs. It is fine to take PDs. There are results that shows on PDs. However, do you really want to take it? Let me tell you about the effects of it. Let me tell you about the positives of it. People always, almost as if they celebrate being the same. Once again, going back to my shit of people being like, oh yeah, hashtag, oh people, or some shit like that. But then, at the same time, doing hashtag relatable, everything must relate to me, I need relatability. Oh my god. This is just a massive fucking rant. They preach shit that's alien to them, but then at the same time say, no, me, relatability, oh hell yes. And it's just yeah, I forgot my point. I'm just rambling on at this point. It's basically, what I'm trying to say is that educate people, instead of having all these awkward sex ed classes or some other bullshit like that, how about having genuine serious one? Ones that is just like sit down and says, yo children, we got shit to learn. People should celebrate their differences as well. That's one thing that's awesome, right? But not a lot of people fucking celebrate that shit enough. People a lot of the time always celebrate the sameness or some shit like that. And a lot of time they would always say, oh no, celebrate our differences as well, but they barely do that. It is very hard. I'll tell you this 100%, it is very hard to celebrate our differences. An easy thing we could basically say is that some culture eats snails and some cultures don't. Oh wow, boom, people get outraged about, oh no, snails, why would you eat snails, it's so fucking disgusting, blah 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 blah. And then at the same time, those are the same people says, oh no, Black Lives Matter, ooh woo. Easy contradiction, easy fucking contradiction. Yes, you outrage over food, and you basically tell shoved down a lot of people's throat. No, you should accept an entire race. Yes, this makes sense. We should totally trust this person. I'm not saying that people don't contradict themselves. A lot of people contradict themselves. That's, of course, 100%. But at least show some form of resemblance of thought that you fucking thought about this shit. You know, maybe we should exercise intellectually more. You know, yeah. And yeah, this has just become a rant from gym to just a bunch of other shit. Okay, mini rant to end off. Hopefully this thing will only go on for 3 to 4 minutes. Jesus Christ, my first 30-minute video. Reading. Fuck parents telling kids to read. Fuck teachers telling us to read. Easy reason. That only makes you wanna not read even more. Oh wow! That's the problem with school a lot of time, in my opinion, is that it makes you hate a certain thing. It really, really does. Good example for me in the IB. I have business management. You know, it's a subject. I do believe I do 100% see that the subject has potential. Not potential, but 100% can deliver me a wonderful explanation on a lot of shit. Definitely. Okay, so it has like 5 units or some shit like that. In the beginnings, it is extremely boring. I've gone through that shit like 10 times. Okay, I hate it. It sucks ass. Cool. Just like, yeah, wave it on the side. However, the later on units are genuinely interesting. It talks about finances, it talks about expense, it talks about salary, it talks about how company pays you, company policies, like international policies of companies, and a lot of other shit as well. And it is really interesting just because if you were to have a job in the modern world, knowing this thing right about now would be amazing knowledge, because then you're not as like waddling ducks walking into a business or walking into your first job, because then you would know, okay, no, this is bullshit, this should be this should be that, and that would be amazing. However, the teacher of this goddamn subject pissed me off once, and I immediately tries to disregard absolutely fucking everything that he is going to teach me. Is that petty? Somewhat. However, I generally do not get pissed at people at anything. I like seeing life as a little bit funny, a little bit gaffy, you know, and not generally getting angry. I hate getting angry. And getting angry isn't fun. It's just not, you know. Controlled anger is awesome, but just unrelenting anger, just like letting it out, it's not fun in my opinion. It sucks ass. It's uncontrolled. It's unrefined. Just, you're not able to do anything in the end. But this man somehow unleashed my rage and my absolute wrath. I hate him. I really, really do. It's not some petty shit. He argued, he argued over some petty ass shit. And he pissed me off to the very core. And to say the least, I want to disregard everything he's going to fucking give me now. Just because of that shit. Now think of other people, Other people will immediately, just a lot of time, complain about shit teacher, shit subject, a bunch of other stuff. That's the thing. School makes you disregard so much shit. And that pissed me off on a lot more level than one. Because school is supposed to educate you. And yet, it fails on that very goddamn basis so many times. I do not deny that you do learn a lot from school. I do not deny that one bit. It is extremely helpful, and we are extremely privileged to even be able to go to school in the first place. True, 100%. Do not disagree with that. But good job, school. You educate us enough to basically tell you you are shite. A lot of the time. You are shite. Your system is unflexible. It is unevolved. It is uninspiring. And to say the least, we need some goddamn change. And I do want change. And a lot of the time I also argue with myself that, cool, we heard you talk about how shite school are a billion times already, and I'm doing the goddamn same thing because I'm an absolute hypocrite. Because a lot of time I would say, we heard you talk about how shite school is a billion times already. Give us something more concrete. Give us an actual solution, perhaps. So I send that to you. Find me a solution. Other than that, goodbye. I turned it on because I was scared. I should have not done that. That was so shit. No, Minnie, right. I hate when people stick their tongue out like, look at me, guys. I'm so quirky. They're like fucking guys that like flex their biceps and like, stick their tongues out. It's like, girl, look at me. I fucking hate that. I really, really do. She's like, why would you stick your tongue out? Why? You went from a respectable person. It's just like, damn, look at you. You're very good. So just, look at me, guys. I'm so buff. Oh, yeah, I'm so buff. Oh, yeah. Look at me. I'm so buff. Half the fucking time. It's just, you do whatever you want with your body. But oh my god, that's an annoying pose. It really fucking is. I saw that once, like 4 years ago. And now I remember it again. And it pissed me the fuck off. But donkers, I need to end it. It was supposed to be relaxing time, not rant time. You know what, might as well stretch on a little bit more. It's just, I got a lot more to rant about. I have so many topics to rant about. Due to the fact that, in my opinion, this world is a wonderful place. Do not take me wrong on this thing. Even though I should have put as at the beginning of the video. I might rant a lot of shit. I rant about it. I hate it. Because I care about it. Surprise, surprise. You only really hate something if you give a shit about it. You give about shit about something enough, that's why you care. You don't just hate something by looking at it. You fucking don't. Okay? Humans don't assume the worst. Unlike those TikToks that would have you convinced that humans assume the worst. No, humans do not assume the worst a lot of the time. We assume positives. Surprise, surprise. And it also is extremely individually based. Wow, it's based on experience. And no, most people do not have absolute negative shit happening in their life 24/7. God. I do think humans are a lot more positive than you think, to say the least. Because it's a lot easier to assume these things. It makes us happy, which is always a plus. On like thinking on these general direction. And lastly, probably perhaps because thinking bad shit makes you less happy. So yeah. Reason why we assume the positives. When you get out of bed and you see some sunshine, you're gonna you see some light, you're gonna think like, oh, is the day gonna be nice or some shit. You don't assume like, oh no, a bunch of cloudy shit. No, you don't. You fucking don't. If you assume worse on negatives, that means whenever the next time you open the door, you would think there would be someone there, like immediately having a banana gun telling you, raise your hands up, I'm here to rob you. Which isn't the case. You just assume everything's a lot of the time gonna be normal, and shit's gonna be normal. That's kind of assuming the positives, I'll tell you that. So to say the least, rant over. I should really just call this like descend into insanity. Welcome to my cage. Either way, I need to fucking end this.